Good evening, everyone. It's nice to have you here today. We'll be looking at the content on the week 12 regarding this unit. So before we proceed, please, could you please confirm whether you can hear me very well, please? Yeah, thank you very much, Nick. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much.
Online class mute
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear as well. Today is going to be a very interesting session because I had to also go grab some water and make sure, yes, I have enough juice very close to me, because it's going to be intensive in a way that will take the session similar to the kind of condition we may come across in the exams. So this is also going to be an exam simulation section. So the overview for today's session is we're going to look at what we're going to talk about this week, which is the exam simulation. And please, the unit of surveys is available online. Please have a look and provide us with your comment to help us improve on this unit. And we're very sorry for all the inconveniences so far this semester, switching from in class to online. I know it has not been easy, but we're very happy we've been able to handle many things as much as possible. And then preparation for the exam simulation. This represents the overview for today's session. So for this week in the lab, you'll still be working on your agile week. And then this contains what you need to know and also what you need to do regarding your agile week, and also all the activities surrounding the agile development. So by unit of study, please have a look at your canvas. The link is also available here. Please complete the survey. Your feedback is very important for improving this unit. Okay, yes, so we have a quick question from Ishan regarding his laptop will not function. Yeah, so what we're going to do now to make it much more easier is I will upload the entire PDF version of the exam. So let's work with the PDF. I think it will be much more easier for everyone. So I would release the PDF version of all the questions, and then we can start from 1 through to number 10. But please take note, in the exams you have 20 questions, 9 of which are multiple choice questions. Yes, we also have another question from Ishan is, for the exams, the good news is the university is trying to arrange for students that would really want to come in to write the exam on campus. So the link is currently being prepared by the university, and then it's going to be available to all the students on a first come, first served basis. So please check your email very often so that you can easily register for the in-class or writing your exam on campus. So please check for that email as much as you can. And it's going to be on a first come, first served basis. So it's very important for you to express your interest as soon as the link becomes active and available. Yeah, so alternatively is if you can't come in to write the exam and you have issues with your laptop, one thing we could advise is for you to, borrow a laptop, or I'm very happy to borrow you my laptop if you're in Sydney, so I can easily, you can use my laptop, so not a problem at all. Otherwise, you can discuss with your friends, see how you can borrow a laptop. But let's hope the on-campus exam being arranged by the school, you'll be able to subscribe for that. Yeah, so for this, we'll work with the PDF version for our exam.
Hi, Sadiq.
Yes, Isha.
Yeah. So up till when can we expect the uni to come up with that link? Because I think I raised a request with the ICT,
Yes,
and they closed the same saying that we'll update you as soon as we have
yes,
something.
yes. It will come. They are working on it. It will happen definitely because it will happen definitely, hopefully before the end of this month. So check
Hmm.
your email very often so that when it comes, you
Yep.
can register soon because we may not have a lot of space to take many
Yep.
students
Because
off.
I think
Yeah,
uni had one policy that they were giving away laptops for the exam, but no one advertised that on a large scale. It was just mentioned on the COVID page, which I don't know where it was sent. So, and we already are out of that. So I'm not sure. Will they send an email for this or?
definitely yes. For this 100%, they'll send an email for the in-class exam. So, and as soon as available, I would also update you, but you should receive the email directly.
Mhm.
So please, whenever you see the email, please check the email very carefully, and then you can express your interest. However, it's going to be on a first come, first served basis. It's very important, because we wouldn't know how many seats will be available. How many seats can take a lot of students in the same, venue,
Yep.
constraining social distancing and other measures for the
Yep.
regarding with the COVID-19. So it's very important for you to register as soon as you can. Otherwise, we can, if that really fails, let us know. We'll see how we can arrange possible
Because I
other.
asked for the webcam at some of the shops, but they are everywhere they say there's stock awaiting, because I think all the imports are closed because of COVID, so they're not expecting any stock anytime soon.
It's not a problem. Let us know. We'll also work on our part to see how we can informally, help with laptop if possible, not a problem.
Hmm.
Or try to see how we can work with towards ensuring that we have many students, that will be able to come in and write the exam on campus. But one thing for sure is our responsibility to ensure that you take the exams in an environment that you're very comfortable and happy with. So this is very important. So because we would not allow any student to take the exam under which any situation where you're not comfortable or you have issues with the laptop or issue with the environment or issues with the internet and all that. All these issues will be resolved. And then please feel free to send me an email anytime you have any concern, before the exam. You need to make sure that you're 100% ready for the exam. If you have any concerns, please, we're very happy to resolve all the concerns and make sure you're happy with all the solutions provided before you proceed with the exam. So based on this
Perfect.
today,
Thank you.
we'll
Thank you,
switch to,
sir.
you're
Thank you so
welcome,
much.
not a problem. So for this today, we're going to switch to the PDF version of the exam simulation. So I'll release all the questions and then we can start working on it one step at a time. So for the resources for this exam simulation and also your final exam, please take notes. Review all the materials for this course, please. Go through all the materials we have provided in this course. These materials are very sufficient for you to answer all the questions in the exam, and they're also very sufficient for you to work on any real-world project in the industry regarding software testing. And please, as you're reading these materials for this course, create about 20 questions from all the materials, 10 of which will be multiple choice questions. One very, very good update today is we have updated our multiple choice questions to say that choose one answer in a question or choose multiple answers in a question. This is also a way of trying to, give you more comfort so that you wouldn't spend so much time thinking about, is this question going to have multiple answers or not? So we have been able to update all our multiple choice questions to let you know if you're going to choose one answer or you're going to choose multiple answers. So please, you have 9 multi-choice questions in the exam, and then you have 11 very practical questions in the exam. So the same format we have given you today for the exam simulation will be at least 70%, format of what you're also going to see, similar format you're going to see in the exam, almost 70%. The remaining 30% would cut across short questions, which may require short answers or long answers, not a problem, but we believe they are short questions. And also then we have the multiple choice questions. So please, for today's simulation, we're going to release I'll release the PDF version instead of the automated version. So from 5:15 today, I'll release the PDF version. And then please assume that you're in the final exam. Don't refer to your notes. And then this will take 45 minutes to an hour. So what we're going to do now is, if we start working on the first question, I'll give you some time, and then we spend that time to answer that particular question. So we'll take it one step at a time. Instead of giving you the whole 45 minutes, and then you become so tired, or you become so bored, or anything might happen. So in this case, let's change it to a very interactive session. The first question, I give you 5 minutes on your own. You try and come up with the answer, and then you share your answers with us, and then I can easily advise you the answer you're given, So, and then afterwards, after we're done with the first question, and many of us were satisfied, and then we'll move to the next question. Please take note, is my major aim here, objective here, is to give you the tricks on how you can answer all the questions. So that when you see this kind of questions or similar questions in the exam, you will be able to easily answer the questions without taking so much time. And also, I'll try as much as possible to give you very closely, also very much closely related answers, or directly could be the answers to the exam simulation we have. But we want to really for you to be able to come up with the answers, and also let us know, if possible, how you're able to come up with the answer. So we have a question from Chayud about the toilet. If last time about the exam, yes, we're still waiting for the university to let us know what we're going to do with that. So hopefully they have a solution for if one wants to go to the toilet, and then you'll be able to figure out what to do. So we'll come back to you on that as well. But please, bear in mind, let us all do as much as possible to make this work. Definitely, we're going to do our best to make sure that you're very comfortable with the exam. And that is why what we have done is to ease the stress by going further, preparing the exam simulation for you. Because ideally, we can just give you the questions to go through the questions all by yourself, but we want to go through the questions with you, and then we are giving you very closely related questions. Yeah, so regarding the internet disconnections, it happens a lot, but with the VPN, this will minimize the disconnection issues. So please look up on the VPN link by the university if you're in Sydney, or if you're outside of Sydney. If you're in Sydney, yes. So if you're in Sydney, you can use the VPN or otherwise. If you decide to go with the VPN, you have the VPN you can use, and then it will limit, if you're disconnected, easily it reconnects you back because you already have that channel for your exam. So in this case, if you're worried about the internet connectivity, please consider using the VPN during your exams. Yeah, so that wouldn't have much problems at all. Yeah, thank you very much, Zipping. Yeah, so for child, yes, please. No, child, you don't have to hold up going to the toilet. Don't worry, we'll find a solution to that. Okay, and I'm very much confident. We've been here for over 12 weeks in this unit together. So with what we are going to do today, if we can be successful with the exam simulation today, I can assure you that you're almost very close to distinction or high distinction in this unit. If you can just stick with what we have discussed and also follow through what we are giving you in this exam simulation, you'll be able to answer all the questions. So please, I have just published the PDF version of the exam simulation, the questions. So instead of using the automated version, let's use the PDF version for some of us that don't have, that may have some issues with our connections or may have issues with the webcam and other issues. So let's use as the practice questions. Yeah, so yeah, so fine, that has been released. So please, if possible, could you please have a look at all the questions? And also, since that's been released, that means I can also open up let me also try and bring that question back. Yeah, so, and then we have, let me come up with the questions. Yeah, practice exam questions. I'm glad that we actually prepared the PDF version just in case we're going to have some issues with having the direct simulation based exam. So I think this will be good as well. So let me make it a little bit smaller. So please, this is available on Canvas. You can download it by yourself as well. Please remember, assume this is a final exam. Forget about checking your notes for now. The main goal is to be able to know how far you can be able to dissect these questions. What are those strategies, those steps you're going to use to answer the questions? How are you interacting with the questions? These are very important. If you can get this right from the very beginning of your exam, it becomes a lot more easier for you to answer any question in the exam. Please take note, we have 9 multiple choice questions. They're very tricky questions. Please ensure that you check those questions properly. Yes, so Ishan, you can see they are under module on Canvas. I just published them now under lecture. If you go to lecture module on module lectures, from Canvas to modules to lectures, you see it there. Final exam practice questions. Yeah, thank you. So if we all have this now, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. So we're going to start 520. For the first question, because we have a scenario, a system, if this is a system, please take note. You can have a scenario in the exam, you can also have a system. So please, if you're being given a system, answer the question based on what the system given to you. If you're given the scenario, answer the question based on the scenario given to you. It's very important because for scenario-based questions, it's a little bit flexible because you can have many possible answers. But for a system-based questions, the answers would always be within the system given to you. So for the scenario-based question, yes, it's within that scenario, but you can have many answers within that scenario. But for the system, it's definitely within the system. There's no way you can bring in any other answer, apart from the ones we have given to you, because in this unit, remember, we have been guided, we have been supported by what? The standards we have given to you in this unit. So it's very important for you to know and understand those standards very well. So yes, please, for the first question, we're going to take 10 minutes to answer the questions. So what we're going to do is, after 10 minutes, 2 things can happen. You can either, if you want to, what could happen, we can have few students that would let us know their answers, and easily we will be able to respond to those answers as soon as we can. Ideally, the exam simulation will have been a lot easier in order to say, okay, no, improve, yes, and all that. But in this case, since we're using the PDF version, you can be able to, you can share the answers, you can chat, and also you can be able to speak as well, so that we can all listen to you. So please, let's take, please take the next 10 minutes, read the system, read the system given to you, and also go through the system given to you, and also read the question one very, very carefully. Remember, what we have done in this question is what? Underline those key units, those keywords, by putting them in red text. In the exam, no. You're going to have them as black text, written in black text. So you have to be able to extract those keywords and then answer your questions based on those keywords you have. Please take note of this. Let me repeat again. In the exam, it's going to be straightforward. Black text given to you, all the text in black. Underline those keywords and then use those keywords to support your answers. So please, we have 8 minutes to go. Read, go through the system given to you, and then answer question one. I'll be doing the same as well because I didn't go through we put together all the questions. I didn't go through the answers because it's fine, let's do it together. So I'll spend the next 8 minutes as well going through the system and also looking at the question one as well. If you have your answers before 8 minutes, please feel free to enter it in the chat box and then we'll listen to the answers you have. Please feel free to express yourself, and then easily we can be able to correct each other and also learn from each other as well. Okay, so good luck with the first question, and then we'll, at 5:30, we can start taking in all the answers. Thank you. Remember, please continue working on the questions. I'll be giving you a few tips, based on any questions we have. You need to be able to understand what the question says, where the question is expecting you to pick your answer from. These tips have been given to you in the questions. You have a system, you have the first question, and then we're telling you to pick up your answer from a particular section of the document in this unit based on what the question really wants you to do. You look at the area, you look at the section where we're asking you to pick up your answer from, and then what associate that section with the system given to you. Please avoid providing a generic answer. The answers for these systems are within the systems themselves. There is no generic answer. You have to be precise, straightforward, and very clear in the answers you're going to be given. You're going to give us. Yeah, so yeah, Maizwan, yeah, thank you for joining us. Please, because we have some students that are having issues with the connectivity, so we decided to use the PDF version of the exam. So please go to Canvas, from Canvas to modules, from modules to lecture, and then under lectures, you can go down, you can download the exam document. So it's called the exam final document. So I'm going to paste it under modules, under lecture, download this. Yes, download this under this. Yeah. I think I can even have the link directly. Let me just drop the link to be a lot easier. Yeah, so we have the link. Yes, you can use this link to download the. Yeah, Ibrahim, do not worry about I can log in to get the exam timetable. And try and log in much later, Ibrahim. If it doesn't work, let me know and then we can send you all the details in it, but you should be able to log in. You can try and log in after this session. I really hope we can finish this session in 2 hours because we have a lot to do. Let's hope we can finish in 2 hours. With the PDF version, it becomes difficult to, but yeah, let's take it one step at a time. Let's see what we can do. Yeah. I think they can give you. So let me put the link. Yeah, that is a link for everyone. Yeah. We have we've got 2 minutes more, 5 more minutes. Let me also use this time to also go through the question very properly, very carefully, and then take my tea as well. Yes, thank you very much. So permit me please to start with Ishan already has his answer. So Ishan, if you can, I'm looking at your answers, but could you please, um, if possible, use the
Yep. You want me to explain the
yeah,
answer?
tell us about the answer. Yes.
Sure. So, I guess as the highlighted, the keyword is functional suitability. So I think as per the standard, this refers to the implicit requirements of the system. So, and what case we have is, I think the first requirement is inputting the patient's data and able to input that information with a unique patient ID, first name and last name. I think that's the first functional requirement. The second one would be, as the N says, that allowing the medical personnel at the hospital to edit the patient's treatment information at any time, be it inpatient or an outpatient. So I think that's the second functional requirement. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much,
And
Ishan.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back to your answer because that's one thing you're missing in your answer. So we'll come back to that. That's one
Mhm.
thing missing, which we didn't highlight that thing in red because we want to see if you can actually bring out that thing yourself in the question. And that is the only, if you put that thing into your answer, you're very much good to go. And then we have Chayut. Chayut is asking, do we have to memorize the template? And no, you don't have to memorize. No, don't memorize. Yeah, so anyone wants to share with us the answer? Your own answer, please? Anybody? So let's take two answers and we'll proceed.
So if I understand the question right, I think it's asking about listing functionality. So what I would suggest is um, a complete functionality, because suitability means it's complete, correct, and appropriate. It doesn't care about the efficiency and stuff like that. So what I would suggest for these two functionalities is having ordering capability in the list, and capability to add to the list, and capability to edit the list. The ordering should be by name, by ID, by first name or last name, because this is what is in the example. Also, there might be a search by name, last name, and ID. And that's what I think about. So the two functionality would be listing and editing.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Your questions, yeah, we'll come back to you. You've been able to address one of my major concern from Ishan's answer, but I'll put together the two answers you have given and then give you give you the direct, very answer that is for this particular question, even though there could be many possible functional requirements, but all these requirements have to be within the what scope of the system given to you. So we also have answer from Katrina. Katrina, do you want to share your answer with us? Can we take one last answer? Oh, sorry, Katrina, your mic is down. No problem, don't worry. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we have an answer from Katrina as well that also focus on having medical practitioner requesting for the patient's record. All patients should be displayed on the screen. And then also we have the second answer from Katrina that says the patient records display should contain all essential information linked to the patient. So please, here is the, yeah. So first of all, I'm smiling because it looks like I have, my answer seems to be much more closely related to the ones we have, been given by three of our other colleagues. So please take note. Listing, the question says, write two functional requirements for the system regarding a desired listing functionality. In this case, one of your first requirement could be the system shall allow the listing of a patient, either by listing the patient's, your first name, the last name, the unique ID. So this is the first. So in all the requirements you're going to have, please try and make sure that you have that listing. Like it could be the system shall allow, a customer's this details to be listed, or shall allow a listing of, so that listing has to be part of your requirement. So please take note. I can also, because also we have, based on the given amount of time given to us, we can say the system shall allow the listing of, the information given to you in this search, and then for a particular or a given period of time or at any time. But that listing has to be part of what the system will be able to do. So the system shall allow the listing, a system shall do that. So this is going to be, part of the requirement. So now, how do we mark this question now? We'll be looking at what? Are you listening? Is listing part of your answer? Very good. If you have it there, then that means you're very close. And then the requirement you're listing, is it part of the standards requirement, which is ISO IEC 2525010 2011. So we look at what is it part of that requirement, functional requirement, and also do you have listing as part of your answers? So please, this would represent, or this functional requirement possible functional requirement for the question 1. So please, I'm sorry, we won't go into much more detail. We can take much more questions later. And then, but before we already have an answer from name that says functionality requirement listing will be part of the, because listing in this case has been attached to the functional requirement, so please, listing will be part of the requirement you want to have. So I can say the system shall allow the listing of XXXXS. The system shall allow, the listing of, for a particular period of time. It depends on how much you want to put it there in your requirement. But please take note, listing is also a keyword here. Try and be able to bring out those keywords yourself. So we go to the second question, and then we can take the next 5 minutes for this particular question. And then please, hopefully we can take answers from 3 other persons. The first one, we got the answer from Ibrahim, Ishan, and Katrina. Thank you very much. And then the next question, let's see if we can get the answer from 3 other persons. Thank you very much. So let's do the second question now. Yeah, 4 minutes to go. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sadiq, I have a doubt regarding the second question. So, do we have to memorize the template, or we will be given the hint in the final exam as well?
What we have done is that we have given you what the hint, the template itself, right?
So
don't worry.
My question is, will it be there in the final exam as well?
Is there? Yes, is there. Yes, the hint is there. The hint is there. Yes,
awesome.
We give you hints. Yes, we give you hints. No worries. Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Isha. Very good question. So we've given you the hint here, and also we also have the hint in the final exam as well. Manisha, for the first question, we said listing should be part of your answer. So in this case, I can say the system shall allow the listing of a patient's name, either by the first name, last name, or unique ID, depending on what functional requirement you plan to take from there. Or I can say the system shall allow the listing of a patient's name for a given period of time. So it depends on how you want to bring out those requirements. But listing has to be part of the record because the system is it's allowing you to do the listing, which is very important. Chen will give you the hint on the template in the exam. Yeah, the hint will be in the question as well. We'll give you the hint. Yeah, thank you, Manisha. Perry, thank you for your answer. Bring it listing into the answers you have because it's looking at what regarding a desired listing functionality. This has been embedded to your functional requirement. So listing has to be part of the answers you have. So tweak your answer a little bit, but ensure that you have that listing functionality in the answer. So let's try the second question. Thank you. Please, can we have your answer for the question 2? So regarding question 1, yes, thank you, Perry. We also have a question from Ishan that says, in the first question, can we say that allowing medical personnel to update the listed patient information? In this case, Ishan, what you're talking about what desired updating functionality. But what we want, what the system should be able to allow you to what you can be able to do, what you'll be able to you'll be able to allow the system shall allow the listing of the so listing is a desired functionality and not the update functionality. So please take note of that very well in the exam. Based on the desired functionality is what you attach to the functional requirement that you have selected. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much, Isha. So, and then, yes, question 2, please. So please take notes. Please take note. It's very possible in the exam we can update question 2 a little bit by telling you the test type to use. So now we have given you a question to describe 2 test cases using the template. And after the full stop you have there, we can tell you use, say, white box testing as a test type. So don't forget, based on what we said, white box testing, you're seeing what is inside the box. So as such, if you're putting down your template, put at the back of your mind what you can see what is inside the box. If we're telling you use black box testing, if you're preparing your template, you cannot see what is inside the box. So as such, your test case should be based on what you don't know what is inside the box. So please take note, it's very important. But we don't have it here, but I'm sharing it with you just in case you come across this same question telling you the type of test type to use for this question. We also have a question. Brendan says, are we expected to remember all the parts of these? If you can, try and remember as much part of the standards, because it's very important for all the questions, including the multiple choice questions. Yeah, so try and remember the standards as much as you can. For example, when I look on the standard, when I look at security requirement, I know in security you have integrity, availability, confidentiality, so I can remember all these. So remembering the keywords you need would actually be very important regarding the standards. Yeah, thank you, Brendan. So B for the question 1 is what? Listing is the what? Desired functionality that's attached to your final requirement. So the system shall be able to allow you to do listing of certain information you have in the system. The system will allow you to do listing of the, because what it wants is saying what? A desired listing functionality. You can list the name, the first name, unique ID, and all that. And also you can list all this information as well within a given period of time, because the question says can be updated at any point by the medical personnel. So you have to know how to put down the functional requirement based on what the listing function. So the system will take care of any requirement that has to do with what? The listing functionality. So can we have please answers for the question 2? Yes, we have one answer from View. Okay, View, thank you very much for your answer. If I look at your answer, View, it's very good answer. However, right, if you're telling me the test case title is system capability test, right, you're not going detailed using the system. Remember, right, like I said, you have to be able to apply now the system capability test you have to the system that is given to you. So now, Bill, what I can do is, let me polish your test title. I can say that I can say that registering a new patient. So you can see, right? I'm looking at what we have based on the scenario given to us. We already have a new patient, right? Inserting a new patient. That's my case title. So your case title, we need to have that feel that you're talking to us based on the scenario, based on the system given to you. So I can say that what? Inserting a new patient. That is I can say maybe registering a new patient. But from what I have here, the one that is very closely is what? Inserting a new patient regular a new patient, there are very closely related test case type 2 you can use. Treatment update permission test. We also have a new, okay, we have the same, another test, another type 2 is very good. However, you have to be able to what? Bring out the, relate your type 2 to the system. Is he inserting a new patient, registering a new patient, or maybe now treating a new patient, or maybe like updating some treatment details on the new patient and all that. So you have to be able to relate the test type 2 to this. So when we look at your test type 2, we want to be sure your test type 2 is related to the system given to you. Yeah, thank you very much, Bill. Yeah, thank you. So please relate your test type 2 to the system. Can we have one more or two more answers, please? If you don't want to type, you can also use the mic and then we will listen to you, please. Maybe I can select. Christopher, do you have an answer for us? There's any answer for us? Davin, Emma, Jenny, Leo, Ronald, Royal? Oshin, Matthew, Manisha, do you have any answer for us?
Okay, I have a answer about question 2, and I think we can use a login function test, and it's a black box test, and the patient and the medical staff can log in this system as this test purpose. And we per request that we have some user already sign in this system, and we can test the whole system by username and password. And if I input a right username and password, I can access the whole system. Or if I input the wrong username or password, I can access this system.
Good. So back to your test title. What is your test title, please?
Login functional test.
So you see what you have is very good. However, remember, relate that test title to the system itself. Avoid being too technical. Like I gave you the other time. I said I could say inserting a new patient. That is my title into the system. Or I can say registering a new patient. Right? So you can see, right? I am relating to the system given to us. So though you're relating to the system given to us, however, simplify your test title to directly what? Show that what? You're actually using the system directly. Because we want you to avoid being so open-ended or generic. So you have to be very specific and direct your test case title to the system given to you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, and Christopher, not a problem. Take your time. Not a problem. Yeah, thank you. So let's move to the third question. And hopefully we can have...
Sadiq?
Yes, please.
Hey, I have a doubt. So can you let us know a good answer for question 2? What test cases can we pick?
So in this case for question 2 now is, I think I think what I would do is, let me tell you how we're doing the marking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how we're marking now is because there are many possible test cases, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Two things we check. If the question asks you white box or black box, we
Mm-hmm.
check. The test case you're giving us, is it white box? Yes. Is it black box? No. If we're saying to do white box, you're giving us black box, automatically you lose the mark. If we're telling you black box, you give us black box, correct. So this is the first thing we do, we check, is it black box or white box if the scenario gives it. Other than that, we don't really check, we just look at what you're giving us to be sure that what you're writing is what you're saying it is in terms of what the test type. And now, secondly as well is, we want to see the test case title you're giving us. Is it directly related to the system or is it generic? So if you're giving us high-level information that looks generic, as such, that is not directly related to the system. What we want to see, for example, like I said, is what? I can tell you I'm starting a new patient, you know, when the system is available, for example. I can tell you I'm registering a new patient. I can tell you anything. There can be so many things you can tell based on what you are. So because this is a system that has point A to point Z. So you can tell us about any case within point A to point Z. So if your system case title is generic, we believe we don't take it from you. Why? Because it's not related to the system. So these are the major things we check. Because if we say black box or white box, you get that correctly, you're good to go. And the next we say the test title, is it related to the system? Correct. And then we'll continue checking all the other things you have on your template. So this is how we look at the marking. So you can use this to figure out the best possible test cases, you know, for your own scenario.
But like this, in this instance, we don't have anything specific mentioned in the question that okay, we need a white box or a black box, so we can go for both the black box testing.
Correct, 100%. Correct, 100%. Because the black box is much more easier. So I would even go with the black box testing and all that. Let's hope the question doesn't say white box testing, and then we'll see what you can do. And that is why you have to go through the lecture document to see, just in case it says white box, how am I going to put it down? Or if you say black box, then very good, easy to go.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sorry. My answer about question 2 is not very related to the scenario. So if I choose another, such as leading function test, is better than login function test, is right?
As long as if it's not related to the scenario, is a big problem. It has, or it must be related to it, because remember the question says, right, that could be used to test the system. So related to the scenario given to, because what you're giving us a generic, you know, something we can do, you know, which that could apply to many of the, you know, systems you have. But now is related to the system. Registering a new patient, do something. You have patient, you have treatment, you have a lot of things you can just take from there. So in your case, what I would say is you understand what you're trying to do, but you're getting more technical. So now simplify the test title you have, and then continue what you're doing. Simplify it. Yes, simplify the test that you have by relating it to the question, to the system, and then you're good to go. Don't change your understanding is very good. Simplify the test title and continue working on the template.
Sadiq, I have one more doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not actually quite sure. But for instance, if the second question says that, okay, you need to come up with one white box test for the system, right? So in that instance, do we need to test the logic running behind the system, correct?
As long as testing the logic states that you've seen what is inside the system, and then that is good to go. So we just look at the title you're giving to us. Is the title based on the objectives of white box testing? If it's correct, fine, we'll take it from you.
All right, cool, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. So let's go to question 3, and then we have the next 5 minutes for question 3. This question is very tricky, you know, and I think the one even in the exam looks more trickier than. It's very tricky. It's a very tricky question. So I think you have to find a way of answering these questions in your own way as much as possible. And how do you do that? There's a very simple logic to this. If you go back to the FSM slides we gave you, there are some key information about FSM that you need to have. Use those key information to answer the question. For now, let me see if anyone of us will be able to figure out what are those key information about FSM that will be used to answer this question directly. Once you pick up those key information, you're good to go. So that is a hint for this particular question. In addition to what I've just said is, this kind of questions sometimes they come with, they can either come with, assuming for example, we're not writing an online exam in the class, maybe you would have been asked to draw a diagram, which is very complex, a very complex diagram that, but it takes a lot of time for you to be able to understand and interpret, your FSM to describe the functionality that you have been given this particular question. But in this case, it might come the other way around. You're being given that diagram and then you're being asked to deduce, what should be there in a particular state or transition and all that. So you have to read very carefully what the question says. But to answer this question, use those key information about FSM and it should be a lot easier for you. Most importantly, those those key information are on the lecture document. If you can, tell me this key information in your answers, those 4 information, it's a lot easier for you to answer the questions. Yeah. So we'll come back in 4 minutes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. So we have some questions here regarding drawing the diagram in the exam. So please, in the exam, we don't have any diagrams to draw. Rather, we have given you the diagram, and then from the diagram, you'll be able to extract what you've been asked to do. Because of the online exam, we try to remove questions that have to do with you drawing diagrams. Yeah, so we have made it a lot easier for you now. Yeah. So any diagram in the exam, you see the diagram, and then you'll be able to what answer the questions based on the diagram we have given to you. So for this particular question, what I would tell you is understand the start and the end states, the type of data you need. Are there any combinations in the data you've been given? Or are there any combinations in the data you've been asked to enter? Let me repeat myself again. Please take notes. Understand the start and the end states. Understand the states and the fields, the data you've been given, combination of any field. It could be 2 fields, 3 fields, and all. Understand those combinations based on this session, based on the diagram given to you. And read carefully and then define the transition. Make your answer as very simple as much as possible, because the questions have been made a lot more easier for you in case you come across FSM in the exam. Yeah. So lastly, you're not expected to draw any diagrams in the exams. Yeah. So please let's move to question 4. With the previous FSM, probability of entering the first name first is twice that of entering the last name. Derive the Markov chain from the previous FSM. In this case, this is very straightforward and very direct. You only need to understand what differentiates Markov chain from FSM. And that is the only thing you need in this question. And also being able to insert that thing you need is very important. So I'll give you 3 minutes. If you can tell me what you need to insert, FSM to Markov chain, and then we can go deep in the answer. So,
Sadiq,
yes, please.
can you please repeat the answer for question number 3?
Yeah. So for the question number 3 is, the good news is you're not going to draw any diagrams.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come across FSM in the exams, take note of what is required for the answer, which has to do with, there are 4 items required, which if you look at your FSM slide.
Yep, the input, output, transition, and the states.
Beautiful. So now you need to understand your starts
Mm-hmm.
and your end states, the number of fields that you have,
Okay.
the states associated with those fields,
Mm-hmm.
the combination, you can have combination of maybe 2 fields, 3 fields, and all that. Understand them as well. Then in this field as well, you need to understand what are those information in those fields. That is in those states. It's very important. So if you can take these key items required for FSM based on the scenario given to you,
Mm-hmm.
it will be easier for you to extract all the information or all we ask you to do in the exam. This is much more easier because assuming you're drawing, it becomes much more difficult. But if you come across the diagram, it becomes much more easier for you.
So in this question, can we discuss the input and the output states?
I think it's going to be in the other way around, whereby you may have been given the input and output, and then you're being asked to do something based on the question given to you.
Okay.
Because you're no longer drawing anymore.
Okay, so we need to work on the transition part.
Absolutely, it can be, and then also you can be asked a question about a particular input, but it's there. You have to go to extract. Okay, what is that input? What is that end state, and all that. If you come across the FSM in the exam. So for question 4, that is one thing that differentiates Markov chain from the FSM. That is what we need in the exam. Anyone wants to help us? Markov chain FSM, what is that thing we need?
It's
Yes, please. Yes.
An FSM with probabilities on each of the edges.
Beautiful. So in this case, what we're looking for is what? The probabilities of the transitions based on the diagram you have been given. So now, in this case, you only need to take into account probabilities of the transitions and then see how you can make them work in your Markov chain. Another good news is you don't have to draw diagrams. There's any diagrams regarding FSM Markov chain? The diagram has been given to you, but you have to be able to understand what is going to be the transit probability of that some transition that you have. So if I think I can ask a very good question here. My question is, if I have one field, I have a state, right? In the state I have, it has only one field. Let's say name, right? And then I have another field that has, let's say, address. So I have that transition from name to the address. What do you think is the probability of the transition from the name to the address? The answer definitely is a value. Is a value definitely the answer? Is a value.
Quarter?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry?
Is it quarter?
Why did you choose quarter?
So I assumed it is the transition is twice as possible from the start to the first name, then to the second name, and to the address if it is the same. So it will be a quarter and a quarter. Like the first one will be half, twice the other two.
Okay, I'll only give you a note and then you can deduce that in detail. The sum of probabilities for all transitions leaving a node must be equal to 1. Let me repeat myself again. The sum of probabilities for all transitions leaving a node must be equal to 1. Use this note in the exam if you come across determining transitions from one node to the other. Based on the question I asked, transition from the name, from the name to the address, probability is 1. but please use this note to answer any question on Markov chain. The sum of probabilities for all transitions leaving a node must be equal to 1. So please take note is we only extracted 4 questions from this scenario. You can come across 2 different other scenarios, and these 2 different other scenarios could be related to SRS. So please look at the SRS you have done in your project based on the use case you have, and then how you determine the SRS. Take notes. If the question asks you about SRS regarding security, or for you to determine the SRS of the system regarding security, now you need to be able to bring out those security content you have in the standard, integrity, confidentiality, and likes of others. If the question asks you for performance, bring out those performance content you have in the standards document. So please, SRS could be one of them. And lastly, SRS could be one of them. And then lastly, it's very possible you could have issues on, say, reliability concern, maintainability concern, usability concern with the same system given to you. And then you can be asked to what? Describe how you can fix all those issues. So you can come across multiple issues, single issues. If you come across this in the exam, please be able to extract and what? Extract the key information from the standards and then relate them to the system being given to you. We have question 5, quality planning, quality assurance, and quality control. For this, I'll take this question and give you the answer directly. Because remember, for planning, we have identification, assurance, evaluating, evaluation, and the control is all about monitoring. So please take note of these key terms when you're trying to differentiate between the 3. So how do you differentiate? You can differentiate based on the meanings of this content given to you. And then you can now have a closing statement to show why this is that and then why this, does the other. So please take note from definition, you'll be able to easily differentiate them. And then for question 6, we have, please read the PCMM in detail, please. Read in detail, please. Make sure all the information regarding the stages are very well presented in your answer and are clearly written in your answer, please. PCMM is very important. And also, please, yes, one last thing I didn't mention for question 1 is, okay, yes, we'll leave that one, hopefully you see that in the exam. And so please, 2 things, go through deep on PCMM, and then please also don't forget your agile development. Understand what you have been given on agile as well. It's not something very difficult come across in the exam, but please understand what you have done, together with your teammate, and also being able to express yourself.
Hey Sadiq, can you give a brief question of how we can be tested on Agile? I mean, like we have in the lab that we'll be asked to put on the releases, or
It's very important. Yes, beautiful. I think thank you very much for giving me the hint. So for the agile, like what you have done in the lab, what we have discussed, it's gonna be in that same in that same way, right? So but the questions are coming in a much more applied way. That's very interesting. But it's still based on what you have done in your project. How you came up with the agile week, you discussion everything you did in the agile week, and also in the all the agile document you submit for your project. So ensure that you understand all the content properly and adequately, and it will be very easier for you to answer any questions on agile in the exam. Definitely. So please, I'll leave you to answer the remaining two questions you have. We have four questions. Yes, four questions. Answer them. They are pretty much very straightforward. But take your time to answer the questions. And if you have any doubts, you can let me know. Here you have equivalence partitioning. If you look at the diagrams we gave you in the lecture document or in the notes given to you, use that same techniques to answer your equivalence partition. For this cyclomatic complexity, this is very direct and also an important part of the exam. So please, this is the hint I'll give you directly for the exam. Make sure you answer, you understand the CC very well, and then you'll be able to interpret any question given to you, and then to come up with, you have the independent part and any other information regarding cyclomatic complexity. Okay. So please go through this content and ensure that you can please answer the questions as much as you can. And also please don't forget to consider preparing some questions for yourself and then answer them. So please, here's also the trick. We have nine multiple choice questions. It was 10, we took it to 9 because we had to adjust the mark a little bit for a particular question. So we made them to be 9 multiple choice questions. In these 9 multiple choice questions, each and every question will tell you if you need to choose one answer or you need to choose multiple answers. This is what we have done last week to make it much more easier for you to be able to answer the questions. Secondly is, the questions are very tricky. The answers are very tricky. The options are very tricky. So understanding those keywords we have in the lecture note is very important. If you can do that, it's more than adequate for you to answer all the multiple choice questions. So here is also trick and also some tips regarding the multiple choice questions. They're very direct, very easy, but have very closely related answers. To be able to answer the multiple choice questions, understand the keywords given to you. A good example will be if I say performance, for example, I don't expect integrity to be part of performance, right? But when I tell you I want to be able to send a message within less than 1 second, okay, I know here this is performance, right? So these are the those keywords you need to be able to understand and you know where they belong. Yeah, if you follow all the things we have talked about today and last week in this lecture and last week's lecture, you're very much prepared for these exams. So the reason why we're emphasizing all these and giving you more hints is because we know your 60 marks is very huge. So it's very important for you to nail all the questions as much as you can, please. So please, can we take any questions regarding the exam questions?
So the cyclomatic complexity, you will give us the software, do we need to draw a diagram for that?
No.
So
No.
will there be a diagram for psychometric because it said to list the independent paths?
Yes, we're going to give you something like this, or a diagram or a program, and then if we can, the question can say, you know, draw a diagram, but the question will tell you what you need to write as your answers. If it were to be a paper-based exam, definitely will ask you to draw. But because it's not a paper-based exam, you can draw, but the question will ask you what you need to provide as your answers. So for your submission, your answer for the particular question regarding psychometric complexity, you wouldn't need to submit any diagram as your answer. And all the questions in the exams, you don't have to submit any diagram as your answer.
So for example, if like I need to draw a diagram to know the answer, and then like I just because of the online exam, like if it's gonna be alright if I use the paper and then
Yeah,
draw.
sure, 100%, yes. Please have your paper very close to you, and then you can draw yourself on the paper.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense a lot. Yes, please. You can draw on the paper, and then you can now translate the answer, and then you put down your answer.
So,
but the guideline of the exam say that we have to continuously look towards the webcam. We can't look here and there.
Yeah, so when you look at, because, okay, so look at it very well, right? When you look at the webcam, right? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, when you're looking straight, you're looking at you're looking at your PC, right? And not the webcam, right?
yes.
Yeah, so if you're looking at me, okay, fine. I'm seated, right?
Yep.
So can you see me?
Yeah, yes.
I haven't done anything wrong, right? I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I'm just focused and I'm doing my work. I have it right before me, and I'm putting down what I'm supposed to do and all that. So it's really very much and all that. But if I start doing this, or I start doing that, or I start doing, and then you can see, right? You know, okay.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Otherwise, what you can do as well, another trick is what? Do this way, look at my screen.
Yep.
You can bring it as much as possibly as you want. And then it can even show what you are doing. It's just a way of verifying the integrity that you're not actually looking at in someplace else to get any information that you need.
I was just concerned because today I saw a video on the canvas stating that you have to, so the proctor has to see you that you are looking completely on the screen. You don't have your eyes anywhere else.
Yes, so that's why I say, if you look at what you're doing like this way and all that, you're trying to avoid looking elsewhere and doing a lot of activities and all that. As long as you're on the screen, okay, to make it much more easier, if you want to, you can even drop it here, right? And then you can do it right on top of your, you have the paper and then you're right on top of it and all that. Because if you have to, start, like writing on the computer, your PC may not be the one that has a pen to write and all that.
Yeah, plus with the PC, we can't change the window once we have started the exam.
Yes, you see, so it's very important at least because if you have to draw something to be able to come up with an answer, something you can just put it, don't put it aside, just stay right in front of the screen what you're doing, and then just based on what they're saying, because even when you're doing it on the computer, it's not the webcam, you're looking at the screen and not the webcam itself.
So basically, just place the paper on the screen. Is that what you're suggesting?
No. Just make sure you have the paper right in front of you.
That would completely go the opposite way.
Please don't have it on the screen. You can have it right in front of you, and then follow what the guideline says, and then be able to achieve what you want to do to get the answer correctly. So it's very important to do that as well. Yeah. So Ishan is asking, can we discuss question 10? Ishan, question 10 is directly, so we actually leave that to you as a bonus. And then one good thing is, because you still have 1 week or 2 weeks left for the tutorial, discuss all these questions with your colleagues. It will help you so much. Mm-hmm. Because then you're going to have multiple answers. You have wide range, you have much ideas, and then you can now pick up, choose the answers you feel they are very closely related. and then you're good to go. Is one of the best ways of answering all these questions. Definitely, 4 or 5 years coming together, 3 years coming together to answer a question, definitely, you definitely get it right because you reach an agreement and then everyone is happy with the answer you have. Yes, for Perry, the final exam will not include questions that require you to draw diagrams. Yes, correct. The final exam will not include questions that require you to draw any diagrams. Translator plus Grammarly. We have another question that says, can we use a translator like Chrome Translate or some plus like Grammarly? I would say no, because getting any external resources from any place during the exam will not be, I'm sure it will not definitely not be allowed. So I would advise against getting any translate. Just put in there, no worry, we understand what you're saying, and then we can interpret the answer very clearly. Yes, Oshin, question 9 requires diagram, but in the exam, you will not be asked to draw the diagrams. You can draw the diagram, but the exam will let you know the answer required for that particular question. So no diagram will be submitted as your answer in the exams.
So overall, Sadiq, if we go through all the appendix, I think that would be sufficient for the exam, or
is more than enough for the exam. I've ordered appendix, and that means you're definitely you're 100% or 110% ready for the exam. Definitely.
all right.
Yeah, it's more than enough for the exam. The appendix, more than enough. It's just now you now look at what you have done in the lecture, being able to apply all the things you have done in the lecture to the exam. That is the important part. So now, let me give you the final hint regarding the multiple choice questions. The question will cut across 1, quality, the ISO standards, any other tools we've been given in the lecture. Your static analysis, and then also understand a lot about all the other content we have talked about while we're answering all these questions today. You're welcome, Oshin. Thank you very much.
Sadiq, MCQ is for how many marks?
Sorry?
The MCQ questions, the 9
Yeah,
questions.
one mark each. One.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all 1 mark each. For Oshin, the solutions will not be shared for these particular questions. What we advise is please discuss with your group members. Take some time off when you're about to submit or you submitted your project, your assignment too, and then discuss with your team members. I'm sure definitely you get the answers you need. Yes, Malaysia, the answer is 60 marks directly. So it's over 60. So the total of all the marks on the paper will be 60 marks. Yes, we have tutorial today. Yes, Isha, we have tutorial today. So you can discuss with us the tutorial if you have any questions about your project or any other additional information. You're welcome, Manisha. 3 marks each. For child, I wouldn't say 3 marks. What I would say is the total marks you have on the exam, 60 marks. The multiple choice questions, 1 mark each. All the other questions will take the remaining 51 marks.
So the MCQs with multiple answers is also for 1 mark?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And they will let you know if there are multiple answers or single answer. We've added that to the questions last week to simplify it as much as we can. For Perry, spare paper in the exam, I'm not sure. Let me copy your question as well, and I'll get back to you. So now we have two questions, one from the using the toilet during the exam, and also this one using the spare paper for the exams. Yeah. So Perry, let me save it, and I can easily get back to you on that. I'm gonna save it. Let me see.
Okay, thanks, Ali.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll just watch.
Yeah, I'll get back to you definitely on that.
Cool.
I want to be able to save it.
So do we have class next week?
Yes, next week class will be based on, it will be our advice for next week class so that you can easily discuss with us what you plan to submit. And if we can give you any comment about what you're submitting, we can give you overview comment, not really detailed comment. It's very important. Why? Because the marking for assignment 2 is always very critical, because it's either you get it right or you get it wrong. You cannot be in between for those particular assignment. So it's important to discuss with us, just overview, and then we'll find out from you if you have everything ready or you require any support in the content you want to submit. Yeah. So our advice: take the opportunity to discuss with us what you plan to submit, and then we can give you general comments about what you have done. If it's not good, we'll tell you no. We feel you can do better. If it's good, we can tell you you're good, but we won't go deep into what you have done. It's a very important 15 marks, so you have to do as much as possible to claim all the marks. And then the reviewers also are very technical reviewers, so it's very important for you to make sure that you discuss with us a little before making the submission if possible.
So next week we will discuss about assessment.
It depends on you. For the lab, yes, about your, and then for the lecture, and also we give you some guest lecturing content, to spice up what we have done for the entire semester, and also give you some bit of hints into breaking into the industry as well, and also giving you more hints and also answering any other question regarding the exam as well. So it's going to be putting a lot of things together for lecture in the next week, while the tutorial will focus more on making sure that you're ready to submit your assignment too.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So please feel free to let us know if you have any questions. We also have questions from Amy. The question says, will half mark be awarded for multiple choice question? 2 questions in total. I got 1 right choice and then 1 right wrong. No, Amy. Usually, when we say multiple answers, you need to get all the answers correctly. If we are using paper to do some working out during the exam, we have to look down to right. Would that not be plagiarism? Yes, Oshin, I'll copy your question and add to the ones we have so that we can have the university actually define how further down can you look, or what can be done in this area. So I have copied your question, add to the ones you have, and then I'll get back to you next week on that. Yeah, it's better for us to ask anything we don't have clear answer, and then I can come back to you. Definitely, I'll do that. Yes, you're welcome, Oshin. I'll do that. Yeah.
Building on what you said, so in case of multiple answers, if the question is tricky and somehow we get 1 right and 1 wrong, so we lose the entire mark for the question, right?
Yes.
Will not that make it a bit tough to score in the MCQs when we have multiple answers?
No,
because as you said that all the options are too close enough and the questions are quite tricky. So.
No, what we want to avoid is I'll give you a scenario. A simple scenario would be we want to avoid guessing, and also imagine we said choose many answers, right? And then you choose you chose 3 answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 happens to be correct, and then 1 is not correct. So in this case, are you going to give the full marks or the half marks? So better, you need to choose the right answers for that particular question. We need to avoid guessing. You have to be right, and that's why what we have done is to tell you choose more than 1 answer, or you can choose just 1 answer. So the hints are adequately provided to guide you towards choosing the right answer.
So, for example, if a question has 3 answers,
Yeah.
hypothetical scenario, if it has 3 answers and I just mark 1, so how will I be marked?
No, it's still 0, direct 0.
0, okay.
Yeah, direct 0 and all that. Because imagine now is, right? Let's say the question has 2 answers, right? And then you chose 2 wrong answers, right?
Yep.
In this case is, we're not going to give you -1 or -2 or -0.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just 0 directly. So it's better that you don't have to have a minus something answer and all that. Yeah. So usually it's just 0. You need to get the right answers correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then from the way the system has been programmed, right? The system programs, okay, fine, these are the answers. So if you don't choose what the answer the system knows, the system doesn't understand, I'm giving you -1 or -2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It will only mark based on what has been said. These are the correct answers for this question. And choose multiple, there are multiple answers because all these things are important when you're setting the exams online. If it's multiple, you put multiple as the answer. If it's single, you put a single answer. So that's what the system understands.
So can we expect a question which has more than 2 answers in the exam?
Now, we'll only tell you, choose more than 1 answer or choose 1 answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have done more than right. We've more than linear by putting all those things in there. Ideally, in the first term, we didn't put them there. You have to figure out, is it 1 or is it 2? But from the statement we have in there, are, is, and but, to make it much more easier, we'll just put it there. 1 or choose multiple. You can choose multiple answers. Yeah, more than 1 answer. Yeah.
Can we get some sample MCQ questions as well, like we have for the other ones?
No, for the MCQ, no. All the MCQ questions, they're directly from they're all from all the content we provided. They're straightforward questions. So as long as you read through the notes, appendix document, lecture document, you're good to go on the MCQs.
There will be a surprise package.
No. I'm sure to be, well, it's because it took a lot of time to also set those kind of questions, because they have to go through the standards, of the university as well. So, but we believe, as long as you've been working on your project, you've looked at all this document, definitely when you see them, what you need for the answers, definitely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have relaxed we've made sure that, we relax lots of the questions. In fact, I can tell you is we actually removed many difficult questions that we actually set from the very first time. Because after setting all those questions, we took the exam ourselves as well. We'll look at how much time it takes to do these exams. We'll look at all the marking, and then you will not be surprised what we actually got when we took the exam. So at the end, we have to make sure what you can also get the 60 marks before we can release that these are the final exam questions. So any question we feel requires so much thinking and all that, we just try to track them out. Yeah. So it was done in a very huge consideration to ensure that yes, everyone is on board. We'll look at everyone's capability and we'll show yes. As long as you attend the lectures, the tutorial, you've done your project, you read all the documents in this lecture, you're definitely good to go. In fact, after this exam, I wouldn't be scared if anyone wants to go ahead and take any certification in the industry and then you become certified, either as a tester or something in this particular domain. You can definitely do that. With a little bit of just a few weeks practice into what kind of ways the exam have been set out there, you can easily take those, those questions as well. Yeah. So strictly based on all the document we have given to you for these exams, nothing outside of what we have given to you. So please, if you require any support, you feel like discussing with me one more time about the exams, just maybe send me an email. We can either discuss via email, responding to your emails, or you can request for a session with me. I'm very happy to spend a few time moments with you and then give you some hint and all that, similar to what we have discussed in this lecture. Nothing more or less than that. I'm very happy to talk to you and address any concern you might have. Okay, please make sure all your concerns are being addressed before the exam. So I'm very much available to answer any of your concerns, any of your questions, go through any of the answers you have. I'm very happy to give you comment as much as possible. Okay. And I'm available 24/7, so please feel free anytime. You can always, catch me anytime, not a problem at all. Okay. So, any other question? Any other question? Ronald, Royu, Harry, Z, Sen, Tony, Sarah, Ning, Joko, Emma Falguni, I think, Ibrahim, Amy, Brendan, any comments? How many questions for the rest of the 51 marks? If you take out 9, that's 11 questions for the rest of the 51 marks. Yeah, so Unweni, so the questions will be 11 questions for the remaining 51 marks.
Sadiq, can you give a slight hint of, suppose we have this question of calculating the CC, right? So for how many marks can we expect this?
Well, it has been adequately distributed, so pretty much good. Is the mark is pretty much good, right? I'm sure you'll be very happy with the mark. It's pretty much good, seriously. Because I had to make sure that I distributed all the answers, all the marks, in a way that yes, your effort putting into any question is actually acknowledged, and then properly or adequately recognized. Okay, and then for some questions, it's just the momentum, the speed, the patience, the understanding, deducing the questions. This is very important. Once you can get this right, you wouldn't even worry about the marks, but just look at those areas you feel you're very good at, take care of those questions as soon as you can, and then easily, you just answer all the other questions. But please, for the MCQ, take time to read them properly so that you don't really mistake one answer for the other. Can I send a cover page for the final exam? So Mia, the cover page of the exam says you have 2 hours for the exam, 10 minutes to read the questions. That is everything important about the cover page of the final exam. I hope this helps. Yeah, thank you, Unwe. Yeah. Thank you, Oshi. Yeah. So, any other last question? We can take one last question. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time today. Looking forward to seeing you in our last lecture for this unit. Talk to you about some interesting content to support both the exams, your career advancement, preparing you for certifications, and also giving you other helpful tips that can help you in terms of going through a very successful transitioning, to either you want to work as a tester, a developer. We can discuss all this in detail and the areas you need to focus on to support your career advancement and also to help you during the exam as well. Okay, so yeah, looking forward to the interesting session with you. And thank you so much for your time today and your kind support. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you in the lecture. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself and stay safe. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Thank you, Uwe. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank
very much
you.
for your time. You're welcome. Thank you for your time. It's good to have you today. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Have a good weekend ahead. Thank you, Zeki. Thank you, Mio. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. Thank you so much. Thank you. And have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you, Sen. See you next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks, Rainier.